Did you know that you missed 6 things on last night's Game of Thrones? No? Well then, make that 7. Find out the rest on Nerdist News. Is anybody else still emotionally exhausted from last night's Game of Thrones? Because I am, and though the show gave fans pretty much everything they could have ever hoped for from an episode called The Battle of the Bastards, and then some, I'm looking at you, #Denara, there was even more cool stuff going on just below the surface. So let's run down 6 things that you may have missed on last night's Game of Thrones! First off, you know that little family history lesson Tyrion gave Dany, complete with a mention of Wildfire? Well, it was more than a casual reference and actually an exciting hint at what's likely to come in the season finale next week. Cersei Lannister is on the proverbial highway to hell as she's about to face trial by the Sparrows. One she'll undoubtedly fail since she can no longer get the Mountain to fight for her. But with Tommen throwing her to the wolves, Jaime still chilling with the phrase, is it possible that she'll go all Mad King and burn all of King's Landing to the ground? Yeah. It's, definitely gonna happen. And we know this thanks to Tyrion's convenient reminder to Daenerys that her father left caches of wildfire below the city for that very purpose. A rumor that Cersei now knows to be true, courtesy of her own personal Dr. Frankenstein confirming it with his little birdies last week. Bye-bye, King's Landing. At least you'll go out with a bang. And speaking of the Targaryen bloodline, did a certain Jon Snow shot last night give anyone else deja vu? That's probably because this angle on the Stark bastard coming up for air mid-battle happens to match this shot of Daenerys Stormborn being lifted up by the freedmen exactly. And it was no accident. Kit Harington pointed it out directly in HBO's behind-the-scenes clip for the episode. So why bother going for the parallel? Oh, probably just because Jon and Dany are secretly related, something we'll hopefully see confirmed next week if Bran can just finish his goddamn Tower of Joy flashback. And next, Jon, meanwhile, has a long way to go before he embraces his Targaryen side. I mean, he went full-on Stark last night, wearing his alleged papa but probably Uncle Ned's clothes, stubbornly ignoring the reasonable, if a little cold logic Sansa was dropping in the war room, and putting family and honor first to the degree that it totally him in battle. I mean, in his rush to save Rickon, he fell right into Ramsay's trap and definitely got a few thousand soldiers who might have fared better further back on the battlefield killed. Thank the gods, Sansa stepped up and saved her half-brother/cousin probably's life. And Sansa, damn girl, Sansa went full-on lemonade last night, finally making her transition from spoiled brat to calculating master of the game. Right now, she's the Stark most qualified to rule, despite lacking Jon's heart and possible immortality, Bran's powers, or Arya's combat skills. Why? Because she's clearly blended her honorable Stark qualities with the more morally gray antics of the people she's bounced around with since her father was beheaded. Why did she withhold her secret little finger Deus Ex Machina from Jon? Probably because she's learned the power you can gain by withholding information from that sly dog. I mean, if Jon knew that the Knights of the Vale may or may not have dropped in last night, how would it have changed his strategy? Would the Knights have managed to take Ramsay's army by surprise? Probably not. It was clever strategy on Sansa's part, even if she was putting the lives of thousands of people, including 2 of her brothers, on the line to do it. And speaking of which, Ramsay may have been right about Sansa always having a piece of him inside of her. The trauma obviously will remain, but perhaps she's learned the power of cruelty from Ramsay too. We saw how she was smiling after feeding him to his own dogs. Is this a whole new Sansa we're seeing? A ruthless leader who will do what it takes to protect herself? Or was it just a one-off release for the young Stark? Only time will tell. Either way, she was amazing. I think she might be my favorite character. I admire her so much. I think revenge is best. And while seeing Sansa finally get driven to bloodlust last night was almost as fun as it was sad, I disagree, it wasn't sad at all, it was awesome, the absolute most tragic moment last night was reserved for the death of Wun Wun the Giant.
Aww.
I know, that actually did really bum me out. Since they arrived on the show, the giants have been treated as majestic creatures, not unlike the children of the forest. They hinted at a more innocent, magical past for the realm. But was Wun Wun the last? Are the giants now extinct? Well, since the show began, we've seen a total of 3, and they've all died on screen. However, the books have hinted that more may live beyond the wall, but not very many. In fact, in Dance with Dragons, Leaf tells Bran the giants are almost gone as well, they who were our bane and our brothers. Either way, we may never meet them again on the show, which is a huge bummer because those giants were just so damn cool. And finally, though it may have moved too fast for you to even process it, last night's episode was the first time in Game of Thrones history that we've focused in hard on Ice and Fire, finally paying off the Song of Ice and Fire book series title and giving us a glimpse at how the show will inevitably come to a close. With dragonfire and cannonballs burning up Meereen and winter punishing the soldiers up north, the show's direction is finally coming into focus and all of our plotlines are converging, bringing Sansa, Jon, Ser Davos, Melisandre, Tormund, and soon probably Brienne, Podrick the Hound, the Brotherhood Without Banners, and Arya to Winterfell, while Daenerys, Tyrion, the Dothraki, Yara, and Theon prepare to cross the Narrow Sea. And if King's Landing really does burn down next week, we may see the plot converge into just a few locations as our human characters slowly draw together for a final battle with the dead. And there you have it, folks. What seemed like a deceptively straightforward episode actually laid a lot of groundwork for the series' future. Did you guys catch anything that we missed? Do you think Cersei will survive her pyrotechnics next week? What do you want to see in the season finale? Let's discuss. Dan, what was your top moment from last night?
Oh my god, it's hard to choose just one, and I assume you've already given a spoiler alert to the people.
Oh yeah,
But spoiler alert, here's the thing, this won't spoil anything. My favorite moment from last night was seeing Sansa Stark and Jon Snow having a tete-a-tete with Ramsay Bolton outside Winterfell, because it was just so tense and you knew there was going to be a battle that was going to erupt right after. Then Sansa just drops the mic with a zinger straight out of Cersei Lannister's playbook. It was so satisfying to see. And we talk about all that and some of the other amazing stuff that happened in last night's episode. And trust me, there was a lot to discuss. You can find that on All Kings Considered. Alicia Lutz and I discussed it all on Nerdist Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Nerdist. You can watch the live stream there. It was super fun. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome, fantastic, guys. Check out All Kings Considered on Nerdist's Facebook. Bye!
Bye!